So students, in today's class we'll be discussing about your networking devices. So these are the devices which help you to communicate all the electronic components in a proper way. So what exactly is network devices? So these are the hardware devices that are used to connect computers, printers, fax machines and other electronic devices to a network. So what is network and different types of networks already we have studied. So network is nothing but collection of computers which are connected together and which are able to exchange information in between them with the set of rules and regulations. So we call it as a computer network, and these networks contain different types of electronic devices connected, like your computers, printers, fax machines and other electronic devices, and we call it as a network devices. So hardware devices that are used to connect computers, printers, fax machines and other electronic devices to a network are called as network devices. Okay, so what does these basically devices do? So these devices transfer data in fast, secure and correct way over same or different networks. So what these devices do? So these devices transfer data in a fast, secure and correct way over same or different networks. Okay, so these devices may be within the network, or devices may be communicating with other electronic components which are a part of different network. So the main job of this network is to allow the electronic components to transfer the data in much more faster way, in a secured way, and the data that they are transferring should be correct. Okay, so the network devices may be inter-network or intra-network. Inter-network means within the specified network. Okay, and intra-network is outside the network. Okay, so some devices are installed on the device. Okay, so inside a computer you find some of the devices which are already a part of it. They are called as your NIC card, your network interface card. NIC stands for your network interface card, or your RJ45 connector. So RJ45 connector is also one of the device which will allow you to receive and transfer the information, whereas some are part of the network. So like your routers, switches, hubs and other devices that we will be discussing in detail later. Okay, so let us explore some of these devices in detail. So few of the devices that are used in your networking and communication are your modems. Second one is your RJ45 connector, your Ethernet card, your hub, your repeater, your bridge, switch, router and your gateways, and one more is a B router. So one by one, let us understand each and every concept in detail. Okay, now the first one is a modem. Okay, what exactly is modem? A modem is a device that enables a computer to send or receive data over telephone or cable lines. So what does modem do? Basically, modem is that device that enables a computer to send or receive the data over a telephone or cable lines. So the data stored on the computer is digital, whereas telephone lines or cables can transmit only analog data. So you understand that a modem is acting as an intermediate device which is trying to communicate two different types of electronic components. One component is your computer and another component is your telephone. So your computer understands digital kind of information, whereas telephone uses analog data. Okay, uses analog data. So this is what the difference that you find between the digital data waveform and your analog data waveform. Okay, so your telephone is receiving data in an analog form, whereas your computer is receiving your data in your digital form. Okay, so your modem is one of the device which will convert from your digital to analog and from your analog to digital. So whenever your computer is communicating with the outside world, it will transfer the instructions in digital form, and your modem, which is in between, will receive this digital instructions which are in zeros and ones, and it will convert it into your analog form. Once the outside world transfers the data, it receives the data in an analog form, converts it into zeros and ones, and sends that information, that is the digital information, to your computer. So that is what the modem is. So the main function of the modem is to convert digital signals into analog signals and vice versa, means analog to digital. Okay, so modem is a combination of two devices. Modem is a combination of two devices, MO and DEM. MO stands for modulator and DEM stands for your demodulator. We call it as modulator and demodulator, that is converting the signals into digital to analog and analog to digital. So the modulator converts digital data into analog data when the data is being sent by the computer, and the demodulator converts analog data signal into digital data when it is being received by the computer. So that is what the modulator and demodulator does. Fine. Now our understanding of what exactly the modem does is, that is converting the data into two forms, that is modulation and demodulation, that is converting digital data into analog, okay, when the data is being sent by the computer, and demodulation converts analog data into digital data when it is being received by the computer. Okay, so this is the basic difference between modulator and demodulator, and the combined term we call it as a modem. So there are different types of modems. So a modem can be categorized in several ways, like direction in which it can transmit the data, the type of connection to the transmission line, and the transmission mode. So when you have a modem, it can be categorized in several ways, like direction in which it can transmit the data, type of connections to the transmission line, and transmission mode. Depending upon the direction of data transmission, modem can be of these types. Okay, depending on the direction of transmission. One is simplex, half duplex, and full duplex. So we receive information, or the information is transferred in three different modes. One is the simplex mode, half duplex mode, and your full duplex mode. Okay, a simplex mode can transfer data in only one direction, from digital device to network, or network to digital device, that is your modulator to demodulator. So it can transfer data is only one direction, so that is what we call it as a simplex. So in simplex type of communication, data transfer or communication takes place in one direction. So for the best example where data transmission takes place in one direction is your radio. You can see that from a radio station the data is transmitted and the radio receives the signal. So the signals are not sent back to the radio station. You cannot interact. Similarly, apart from radio waves, we have this walkie-talkie, which is okay, radio is the only example what we have. Okay, next one is your half duplex. So half duplex modem has the capacity to transfer data in both the directions, but only at a time. So you compare with simplex transfers data in one direction only. Okay, but in half duplex, data transmission takes place in both the direction, but not simultaneously. That means it transfers the data. If it is transferring the data, it can only receive. It has to wait in order to reply back. So a half duplex modem has the capacity to transfer the data in both the direction, but not only at a time. For example, you have a device called as walkie-talkie. So what does walkie-talkie do? You must have seen it with your traffic police or your army people, that there is a small device that they are holding and they communicate. So here you can see that if a person is communicating a message to the other end, he will speak, okay, but simultaneously he cannot reply or he cannot receive what the other side person is telling. Once his communication or information transfer is over, then he gives the signal that okay, I have done with my information, now it's your turn to reply to my whatever queries I have raised. Now once the person has finished his communication, on the other side he will start communicating. So simultaneously you cannot communicate at the same time, and that is what we call it as a half duplex kind of a communication. The third type of communication through modem is your full duplex. So what is a full duplex? A full duplex modem can transmit data in both the direction simultaneously. So what does it do? Full duplex modem can transmit data in both the direction simultaneously. For example, your mobile phone or your telephone. Okay, so here you can see you can listen as well as you can talk immediately, and as and when the communication is taking place. But that is not the case with half duplex. In half duplex, you have to first transmit the data. After transmitting, you have to tell the other side that my transmission is over, then the other side will reply you back. So in between you cannot interact with each other, whereas in full duplex, simultaneously while transmitting or receiving, both of you can communicate with each other. Example is your telephone or your mobile, where you can listen as well as you can reply immediately. Okay, so these are the different types of modems based on the direction of data transmission. Okay, so the next important device used in networking is your RJ45 connector. So basically, what is RJ45 connector? So RJ45 is an acronym for Registered Jack 45. It's an acronym for Registered Jack 45. So RJ45 connector is an 8-pin jack used by devices to physically connect to Ethernet based local area network. Okay, so basically RJ45, here you can see these kind of connectors being used inside your local area network in order to transfer and receive the information through internet. So if I want to connect computers together, okay, so I require an Ethernet card. So what is Ethernet card? We'll be discussing, or we call it as a NIC card, network interface card. So to communicate, okay, we have the NIC card. Through that NIC card, we have this RJ45 connector connected, through which I can receive and transfer the information. So RJ45 connector is an 8-pin. You can see here there are 8 pins basically, which will allow you to receive and transfer the information. These pins are used for physically connecting to the Ethernet based local area networks. So Ethernet is a technology that defines protocols. So what are protocols? Protocols are nothing but your set of rules and regulations for establishing a local area network. So the cable used for Ethernet LANs are twisted pair, and you have your RJ45 connector pins at both the ends. Okay, these pins go into the corresponding socket on the device and connect the devices to the network. So basically RJ45 is a connector used to connect all your electronic devices to your LAN. Okay, this is how your socket, RJ45 socket looks like. Okay, now we discussed about your Ethernet card. So what is Ethernet card? So Ethernet card is also known as, so see here, this is your RJ45 connector connecting to the device. This is your Ethernet card, or we call it as a network interface NIC card. We call it as a NIC card. Okay, which is fixed on your computer. It is a part of your motherboard. It is connected. Okay, here is the pins where I insert these pins into the motherboard slot, and then the device can start functioning and communicating with the outside world. So Ethernet card, also known as your network interface card, is a hardware component used by computers to connect to Ethernet LAN and communicate with other devices on the LAN. So this device you can use to communicate with the other devices which are connected over the LAN. The easiest Ethernet card where external to the system are needed to be installed manually. Okay, so these cards need to be installed manually and on the motherboard of your CPU, and then the device can start communicating through the other devices. So each computers need to have this Ethernet card, or we call it as a NIC card. Okay, so in modern computer systems, it is an integral hardware component. So the NIC has RJ45 socket where network cable is physically plugged in. So nowadays you have this built-in component coming on the motherboard, and directly you can connect your RJ45 connector cable to this port where the communication takes place. Okay, so this is all about your Ethernet card. So Ethernet card, also known as your NIC card, which helps the computers to connect to each other. Okay, all the devices over a network can communicate with each other. So each computer requires this, and the back end panel of this your cabinet, you can find this, or on a laptops also you can find this. Okay, so Ethernet card speeds may vary depending upon the protocol used. So whatever protocol it uses, it varies with speed. So if you have old Ethernet cards, the maximum speed is 10 Mbps. However, modern card supports fast Ethernets up to a speed of 100 Mbps. Some cards even have the capacity of 1 Gbps. Okay, that is gigabytes per second. Okay, so this is what the capacity of the Ethernet card is to transfer and receive the information over the network. Okay, so these are the basic terms, hardware components which are used for connecting the devices over a network. One is your modem, okay, which is used as a device to connect your computer to the telephone line, and you can transfer and receive the information. Okay, the types of modems are your simplex, half duplex and full duplex, depending upon the type of communication mode you are selecting. And then you have the RJ45 connector, which is a 8-pin jack used by the devices to physically connect to the Ethernet base local area network. Okay, so this is how the RJ45 connector looks like. And then we have the Ethernet card, okay, also known as your network interface card, okay, which are used by the computers to connect to Ethernet LAN and communicate with the other devices over the LAN. Okay, so it has a different speeds connect to which it can transfer the information depending upon the protocol used. The old Ethernet cards use the speed of 10 Mbps, Modern cards support the Ethernet up to the speed of 100 Mbps, and some cards even have the capacity of 1 Gbps capacity to transfer the information or receive the information. Okay, so these are few of the devices which we use in using the other electronic device to communicate with each other. Apart from that, we have another device called as a repeater. So a repeater operates at the physical layer. So we have different layers in a network. Our networking or whatever communication that happens over internet, or whenever you are using a mobile phone, okay, and whatever data transferring or receiving happens at your mobile phone, it happens over a networking layer. Okay, we call it as a OSI model. Okay, or we call it as a OSI model. Okay, this model consists of different layers. Okay, and each layer performs different operation in converting the information and transferring the information from one point to another point. Okay, so repeater is one of the device that operates at the physical layer, which is the first layer in this OSI model. Okay, we'll not go in detail with what the OSI model is and what each layer performs. Okay, so you only need to understand what is this repeater and at which layer it works and what exactly the job of a repeater is. So basically physical layer, which is the first layer, yeah, which is the first layer in your OSI model. So what is the job of a repeater? Its job is to regenerate the signal over the same network before the signal becomes too weak or get corrupted as to extend the length to which the signal can be transmitted over the same network. So a repeater, what it is telling, it is operates at the physical layer and its job is to regenerate the signal over the same network. Regenerate in the sense what? If the signal has become weak, if this is the initial signal which were at the starting point, later because of the distance traveled and it has to go through lot of noise whenever it is getting transmitted, the strength of the signal you can see becomes weak. You can see the difference between the original signal and the signal coming. So what does the repeater do? It regenerates the signal. It will once again boost up the signal and bring that signal to its original strength. Okay, so that we can receive the information in a proper manner. Sometimes you find that whenever you are communicating with your friends, okay, over a telephone network, you will not be able to listen to him properly or his voice is not clear. Why this happens? This happens because there will be many other electronic device signals which are coming in between this signal whenever it is been transmitted. So what happens over a period of time, whenever this signal is traveling from one point to another point, it will be affected by these signals which are flowing in the air, and because of that the signal strength becomes very weak and you will not be able to hear the sound properly, or whatever uh, information that you are supposed to receive is not clear. Because of that you are not able to get the proper information. So repeater, which operates as a physical layer at the first layer, performs the regenerating of the signal so that you receive the signal at a proper order, and the signal will not get corrupted, or if it is too weak it will regenerate that signal to its original strength. So an important point to be noted with about repeater is that they do not amplify the signals. Remember, amplification is different and regenerating the signal is different. So when the signal becomes weak, they copy the signal bit by bit and regenerate it at the original strength. Okay, so it has two port device. Okay, so amplification is amplifying the signal, boosting up the signal. So you know what amplifier does. So basically you have a music system and you use an amplifier, it will boost up the signal which is weak or which is not able to produce the proper output, whereas a repeater which doesn't work as an amplifier, but what it does is when a signal becomes weak, they copy the signal bit by bit and regenerate it at the original strength. So it is a two-port device. The next device that we have, student, is your hub. So what is a hub? So hub is basically a multi-port repeater. So what is hub? A hub is basically a multi-port repeater. A hub connects multiple wires coming from different branches. So what is this? A hub connects multiple wires coming from different branches. For example, the connector in star topology, you must have seen what is star topology. So there is a device, and to that device we have connected multiple computers. Okay, so all those computers are connected to a particular device through which they communicate with each other. So data transmission takes place. Okay, so this is how your star topology looks like. Okay, fine. So which connect different station. So hubs cannot filter data. Okay, so hub cannot filter data. So data packets are sent to all the connected devices in other okay, so here what happens, if this computer number 1 wants to communicate with computer number 2, so what will happen, this information is transferred to all the computers. This information is transferred to all the computers. Okay, and only the device which is for this message is intended for, only that device will receive, others will just drop it. So if suppose computer 1 wants to send the data to computer 2, so that message is received by computer number 3 as well as in computer number 4, but computer 3 and 4 rejects that message and only computer 2 accepts that message. Okay, so this is one of the drawback what we have with your hub. So it transfers the packets what it has received to all the computers. So packet is nothing but a small information, okay, a data packet, we call it as information which is stored inside it. Okay, so in other words, collision domain of all the hosts connected through the hub remains 1. Okay, so here collision is nothing but when the data transfer is taking place. So when the data transfer is taking place, then as there are many information which are coming and going, so there might happen that data may get collide with each other and the data may get corrupted or it may get changed. So we call it as a collision. Also they do not have, okay, intelligence. So hubs are not intelligent, they are just devices which whatever information is coming, they just forward it to all the computers, and the computers on receiving the information, they check out whether that information is intended to them or to some other computer. If it is intended to them, they will receive it. If it is not the message that they should read, they will just reject it. So here when we talk about intelligence, they have to find out the best path for data packet. So you should know that a packet should be directed in such a way that collision does not happen and data reaches the defined computer or to the proper destination in a given time period. So hubs are not intelligent, they cannot take any decision in routing the data. So that's what we call them as, they are not intelligent. Okay, which leads to inefficiency and wastage of bandwidth. Okay, inefficiency and wastage of bandwidth. So there are different types of hubs. One is your active hub and second one is your passive hub. So what is an active hub? These are the hubs which have their own power supply and can clean, boost and relay the signal along with the network. So it serves both as a repeater as well as a wiring center. These are used to extend the maximum distance between the nodes. So these are called as active hubs. So what are active hubs? These are the hubs which have their own power supply and can clean, boost and relay the signal along with the network. So it serves both as a repeater as well as a wiring center. So what are passive hubs? So passive hubs, these are the hubs which collect wiring from nodes and power supply from active hubs. These hubs relay signals onto the network without cleaning and boosting them and can't be used to extend the distance between the nodes. So these are the two types of hubs that we have. Okay, so this is all about today's class, students. So in today's class we discussed about hubs, we discussed about repeaters, we discussed about your Ethernet card, and we have discussed about your RJ45 connector along with the modem and types of modems. So in the next class we will be discussing about your bridges, switches, routers, gateway and your B router. So this is all about your today's class. So thank you, students. Thank you for patiently listening to this class.